Are you dumb? Like, no, for real, are you dumb? And listen, sometimes you got to talk to yourself like that. Like, right now, I'm thinking of, the Destiny's Child song, and they were like going to check on, I think it was Kelly, and they were like basically calling her out, like, what's going on? You not doing the same things no more. Like, are you cool? And that's how I'm coming to you right now. Like, are you dumb? You know, have you fell off? You keep talking to someone you're not supposed to. You keep going to the environments you're not supposed to. You're entertaining conversations and content and environments that you know for a fact you have outgrown, or if you haven't outgrown it yet, you want to outgrow it, but you're still revisiting that. So again, I ask you, are you dumb? I say this because I had to talk to myself this way. I and I had you guys know I love being accountable and holding yourself to a standard. And there was a point in my life where I was progressing, but every time I would, the saying, take 2 steps forward, take 10 steps back, that's what I was doing. Like I would set a boundary with us, with a situation or a person or a place. And then in a moment of weakness or a moment of high emotion, I break that boundary. And it's just like, at what point do you really just kind of get honest with yourself? Because the saying, oh, like tough love, and it's nice when someone outside of you can give you that, but if you can't give that to yourself, you're really never going to go anywhere in life. Okay, it is nice to have the support and the community of people who are like-minded, excuse me, people who are like-minded, that have the same goals, the ambitions, and the hunger as you. It's nice to have those people around to kind of help you and keep you in alignment. But it really all starts with you in the mindset of like, are you dumb? And obviously the answer is no. It's no, because look at how far you've gotten. You're not where you want to be because, like I said, you sometimes go back to the things you're not supposed to. So, granted, you're not where you're supposed to be, but you clearly aren't an idiot because you're still not where you used to be. Okay. But we have to bridge that gap and we have to talk to ourselves. It's like, I talked about this in the reparenting video. When I made the most progress in my life was when I started to reparent myself. And a part of reparenting yourself is just like imagining you are, you're just a young girl. How would you, like, how do I say this? If you were your own child, what advice would you give you? A lot of times we have such a high standard and expectation, and we just know our child will never accept this. I would never let my child be mistreated, or I would never allow for my child to feel unwelcomed or unloved or anything of the negative mindset or negative energy, right? You have such a high level and standard and expectation when it comes to the children that come from you, right? And I'm talking to diamonds, and maybe you're a diamond who is not a mother, right? I can understand that. Maybe you're a diamond who just you're a fur mom, or you love your nieces and nephews, whatever the case may be. There is someone in your life where you feel like they deserve the absolute best, and you would never want them to experience the things that you experience, yet you still accept that. I remember when I was in the most horrible relationship of my life, and I would say, if I had a daughter, I would never, ever, ever, ever just sit back and say, yeah, take him back after this, take him back after that. That wouldn't be good enough for the daughter if I had her, right? So why is that good enough for me? I had to talk to myself like, girl, are you dumb? If your sister came home and said, this is what I'm going through, you wouldn't just be like, yeah, that's great. You'd be like, oh, no, no, absolutely not. That applies to you too. That applies to you too. I see so many women, and I don't want to call them diamonds just yet because there is a mindset shift that needs to happen for you to truly become a diamond. It is not always about your body. It's not always about your money. It all starts with the mindset. And I talk about that in a lot of other videos. However, I see women who have the potential to be a diamond, and yet they are not that because they allow years and years and years of a cycle or a treatment to happen to them. And instead of thinking, how do I fight my way out of this? How do I figure my way out of this? It's literally just a reoccurring theme and cycle. it's kind of sad. I just on my like For You page, there is a content creator who I was doing a little bit of a deep dive. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is better than the Real Housewives. This is better than a novella. Like, it was just so much, and I wasn't consuming the content in a way of like, haha. No, because you diamonds know I love to uplift and encourage other women. However, like I said, I was watching this woman's content, and I wanted to say, like, girl, are you dumb? Not saying like, you are less than or you're incapable. However, it's been a cycle. And from what I've seen and what I've seen through the comments and other content creators who've made content off of her, I think her name is, what is it? Love Live on YouTube. Like I said, I mean, the content is completely entertaining, for sure, completely entertaining. However, I see just from the little glimpse of the past like day of just this clip and that clip, this woman has literally been in a reoccurring cycle, and it's like she's having an issue with her children's father, and that's all I see her talk about. I hear her speak about other things in her life, but it's always very minimal. But the highlight of what happened with her and her children's father seems to be the focus. And it's like, I'm listening and I'm hearing everything that this person did, and I'm reading the comments, and I'm just like, okay, well, are you dumb? Because if this person did all of this to you, why did you allow yourself to open back up to that person? I understand why, because at one point, like I said, I had a really bad relationship, and I fought and I tried so hard to make that relationship work. However, there was a lot of eye-opening things that have happened. I've talked about this on the channel. With that being said, it came a point in my life where I'm like, you know what? If I stay in this situation, I am the dummy. If I stay in this relationship, I am the dummy. There is nothing prosperous coming out of this. So for me to still be in this relationship, it makes me the dummy. So when I'm looking at someone else, and like I said, by all means, this channel is completely entertaining. And I hate to say that, because I don't want anyone else to come across what I'm saying in this moment and think you're going to go onto someone else's platform and find humor in what looks like to be a crashing down of them. No, I do think it's entertaining though, because on a certain point, it's almost as if you're becoming so complacent in the debauchery, in the just tragicness of it all, that you must enjoy that. And I'm talking to the diamonds who are experiencing things in their life where it is just a complete crap show, complete chaos, and you don't like that. So the question you have to ask yourself is, are you dumb? Like, are you dumb enough to stay in this cycle? There is nothing that happens in your life where you cannot get out of. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. If you're able to wake up your eyes and you still have breath in your body every single day, you can get out of whatever problem you have. There have been so many times where my back has been against the wall, and it looks like there is going to be no way to get out of a situation. Yet I wake up the next day and I say, what am I going to do to get out of this? And it's because of that mindset. It allows me to get out of the stuck in a perpetuating cycle, and being able to be honest and accountable with myself and ask, are you dumb? Because there's other women, like I said, I can't call all other women diamonds, because you have to have the mindset and realize you need to do something better to become better. And if you are just in a perpetual cycle, like I said, where you are revisiting old conversations, old topics, old places, and expecting something new, that's really not even dumb. That is clinically insane at that point. It really is insane. There is something, there's the buttermilk ain't clean. That's a Southern saying. But I say this, and the channel that I reference, if you guys want to go check it out and see what I'm talking about, when I found this channel, I saw like, I always see the potential in people, and I see this woman and I see the potential in her to truly shine and progress. However, it looks like she is not asking herself the question of, are you dumb? Diamonds, don't be in that situation. Do not be in the situation where you can't be real and honest with yourself. Because let me tell you, okay. If you want to just be bare minimum subpar, you're always going to find someone to agree. You're always going to find someone to agree to that. You have to be the one to make sure you don't allow anything like that around you. Because if you're holding yourself at a higher standard, you better believe that everyone else around you will see that and they will hold you as that as well. I love you, diamonds. And I just want you to ask yourself, are you dumb? If you stayed to the end of this video, tell me what is the key point you took away from this and answer the question, are you dumb? I love you, diamonds, and I'll talk to you soon.